Okay, gather round everyone. This is the BikeExchange pop-up stand. And we're going to do a little interview with two of the main men from Orica-GreenEDGE, Mr. Impey and the Turbo himself. Okay guys, how are you doing? I'll pass over the mic to you two.
I think we're pretty tired of today's effort, but yeah, it was a successful day for the team, and nice to see Gero back on top form and getting a victory, especially after yesterday when we had such a tough day, and to bounce back like that and be in the Orica jersey is awesome for us.
Yeah, just exactly what Daryl said. Good to we worked really hard yesterday, and it's really good that the boys have been unlucky yesterday, and Gero can finish it off for us. So another couple more days, and hopefully we can hold on to the jersey.
Okay, obviously today was not a Queen stage, that's Wollonga, but it was an iconic stage. That climb, you get a lot of tourists out there, a lot of fans. What do you think makes the stage so special?
I think with the climb being so close to the finish and the run into the climb being so sketchy and fast, this is where the race can definitely be lost. So yeah, for us it was basically about putting Gero in a good position, and I think what makes it so special is that it's so narrow, and anything can happen. A guy can win this race from today's stage, but it looks like the GC guys are kind of all watching each other, so the times are still pretty close. But over the next couple of days, especially Wollonga, I think will be a different finish.
What are the plans from here on in? Is it a case of keep it quiet, so you just announce announce on the road what's going to happen in the way you perform, or is there going to be a few different tactics at play?
Yeah, for us, I guess we just approached today with keeping the jersey on Gero number one, and then we just tomorrow Victor Harbour's really windy, so we have to obviously keep Gero out of the trouble, and then and also time bonuses and sprint bonuses and all this sort of stuff play a real big factor when the gaps are so close. So for us it's more about just keeping Gero up there out of trouble, and then assessing, like you said, on the road. You can't really make a plan exactly the same that's going to happen on the road, because it's never the exact same. So tomorrow we'll just play it by ear, see how we go, and then Wollonga it's all about holding on until the finish. So we'll have to wait and see.
Today's stage, there was a section where apparently you guys hit about 105 kilometres an hour in the peloton on the descent, and then the finish was pretty fast. Simon's already said he wasn't so keen on the finish, even though obviously he won. What are your thoughts on the stage and how dangerous it was, if it was dangerous, or if you're used to them sort of speeds?
Yeah, I think Daryl might agree with me here. The Gorge Road running is never fun to be around. So I think you can't really move in there. There's not much room. There's a barrier on one side and a wall on the other side, and you're going 100 k's an hour down the gorge. So I think it's one of those things you have to be up the front, but also it's such a big risk to be at the front and be with all the crap that's going on. So I think it's part of bike racing. You can't really do much about it. That's why I think everyone likes this stage, because it's so fast and hectic. But we're glad we came out unscathed today.
Do you manage with the fear? Is there any fear there with descending at such speeds, or is it a case of turn the brain off, go all guns blazing?
I think the older you get, the more fear you get. But I think when you've got a guy who can finish it off, obviously your perspective changes a bit, because then you're willing to put it all out there for him. But I think if we had a team leader who knew probably wasn't going to be up there today, probably would have been a little bit more further back in the group, taking less risk. But like I said, we've got our leader to kind of switch off, and when a guy like Gero's worked so hard to be and to put himself in top condition to win this race, it only makes sense to commit, and you can only win bike races like the committed team. So we all put ourselves out there, and crashing is part of bike racing. We saw that yesterday, so take the good with the bad.
As you say, yesterday you came off in a crash. It's a dangerous sport no matter what. But there's also the fun side to it, the camaraderie. And then there's some bizarre things. Yesterday I asked your teammate about it. Today I'm going to ask you guys, Sagan's hairy legs. We've seen him 3 days now. Photographs coming across from Argentina. He's got hairy legs. What are your views on this?
I was trying to set a new trend. I mean, we'll know at the end of the year, maybe the whole peloton will be doing it, but I doubt that. And I think getting a bit of publicity, I mean, all you guys have seen it. Probably most of the guys on the peloton probably haven't really taken too much note of it, but yeah, he's definitely creating waves around the world about it. So maybe he's looking for a sponsor. I'm not too sure.
Bit of Gillette, maybe.
Yeah.
Makes my dad feel at home, you know.
He's a hairy one, is he? So, oh, you want the mic? Okay. Downtime. Obviously, you've got a bit of spare time while you're here. It's a race that seems a lot more comfortable than the races in the Tour de France, where you have long transfers. What sort of things do you get up to in your downtime here?
Oh, most nights we hit the pub. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, it's still it's very, very important for us to recover in these kinds of races. You know, although it might be a shorter day than Europe and less travel time, you know, it's still back to the normal routine. Get back, massages, dinner, and then everyone's got a bit of downtime before bed. So there's not a heck of a lot of time, and we're also waking up quite early in this race too. So. Yeah, there's not much time to mess around here. A couple of Australian guys have got family and that to catch up with, but most of us foreigners just kind of take time off, especially from the kids at home, so it's actually quite nice.
Yeah, well, I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about that, but for me it's more of just watching the cricket, watching the tennis. It's like an awesome weekend of sport, you know. Just when I come to Adelaide, I always just like get into the Australian Open, get into the Big Bash, get into the One Day, get into Tour Down Under. So, yeah, just watch all the sport pretty much.
You've got the cricket tonight, of course.
Yeah.
See if you get some tickets. It's a local race, well, a local team race. You're obviously South African. Do you get, this one's to you, do you ever get to see friends and family on the course? Do you see local faces, people that you remember?
Yeah, pretty much today. I was shocked actually the whole way up corkscrew. I had my name yelled out the whole way up, so I was pretty chuffed by that actually. I mean, every year Aussie, we only get to race once a year with the crowd, and the sport gets bigger and bigger every year for us. So yeah, it's, you know, thanks to all you guys out there that are supporting us. So it's fantastic, you know, out the road, and you sort of ride up there with a big sort of grin, you know. It's like kind of feel like, yeah, you know, like this sort of thing. But yeah, for me, it's a great experience racing here. I got always friends, family come over from Perth, and yeah, that's why this is my sixth one, and I don't want to go anywhere else. So I'll be here every year I can.
Okay, I've got like the last 5-6 kilometres. Would you like to run us through sort of just the points, what's happening, what was going through your minds, what was going through other people's minds even?
The last 6 Ks.
Something like that, yeah. We can fast forward.
I think for both Durban and I, it's probably
yeah, we weren't there.
We haven't seen it, so it's actually good.
Yeah. Just take the piece out again.
Yeah, you can see Garrett's really struggling there. Rock and rolling. I think yeah. I mean, already you see Richie just trying to set it up for Owen. I think it's still quite a long way to the top from here, but you can really see a lot of guys struggling, and you know, once a guy like Richie and them start moving, you've got to really get on the wheel. But yeah, already around that corner, you can see the pure climbers are the guys that are quick to react and get on the wheel, and whereas the other guys are trying to ride their own tempo a little bit further behind.
What did you have to do prior to Gaz being on his own here to set him up to be in that position?
Pretty much you just have to, Garrett likes to sit back a little bit and surf through the bunch so he doesn't use as much energy beforehand, because the most energy you can save leading into the climb, obviously you can put it out on the climb. So as you can see, a lot of these guys have had a really, really hard run in, trying to move up, stop, move up, stop, move up, stop, and then you hit the climb threshold. So the best way is to have a sort of a really nice, easy run into the climb, which makes a difference. It makes a difference if you're not a pure climber, like Daryl said. Sort of Richie and Sergio and Woodsy here, they pure climbers, and they seem to react on a steeper climb. So you can see the gaps opening up here. These guys are starting to really go for it. Kind of glad the climb's only an extra K long, I reckon.
You guys are looking after Gerrans way beforehand, and there's other teams looking after their team leaders. What sort of factors come into play, say 10, 15k out before the base of the climb? Is there a lot of fighting in the between the teams? Is there a lot of position jostling?
A lot of emphasis is trying to keep Gero in the front and as fresh as possible going into the final climb. A lot of people can just cook their leaders just before the start of the climb and have them already in the red. So for us, it's about getting Gero, who's not a pure climber, to get there as fresh as possible, because we knew it was going to be about a 6.5 minute effort, and you can just see him now. He's coming back. He kind of times his effort, try to save himself through the steeper bit, and then finish strong up the climb. So I think we did that really well today. He came to the bottom quite fresh, and position is key. You can't start there too far back, because any effort that he's had to do before that would have had him in the red, and then he might have not been able to claw himself back up at the top. So it's very, very difficult to manage, but when you get it right, then usually you're in a good position.
Was there any worry at any point that the break went up to 4 minutes? Was there any worry that you were not going to bring it back, or it was going to be a bit difficult to bring it back?
Yeah, well, when there's one guy been out there 35 degrees after sort of what we've had to go through the last couple of days, not saying one guy's, it's pretty sort of, the run into corkscrew is so fast that you can rip out minutes, as you saw, even, within 20k the break's back if it's even got 4 minutes. So we kind of knew with one guy being out there all day, it's going to be hard. He'd need 5-6 minutes to get up on us to stay away, I think. So when we sort of going out to 3.5, 4, we thought it's nothing too worried, and then all of a sudden, people started worrying about position, and the break was back. We didn't even chase it. No one actually physically chased the break. Everyone was just trying to stay up the front, and then the pace gets faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and before you know, the whole momentum of the bunch, just by trying to stay at the front, is actually bringing back the break. So that's what happened today. So, but if there was 5-6 guys up the road, 4 minutes, then maybe. But one guy would be very hard luck to win.
No chance.
No chance.
Okay, obviously these guys rail it downhill. It's a hairy sight to see. But the peloton, we don't really get to see you guys come down. Is there an agreement that you take it easy, or are you all just going down hell for leather?
Well, there's some guys that have been dropped, but they don't really know they've been dropped yet, so they're still going for the line. But yeah, most of the guys kind of the more experienced guys try and take it a bit easier down there. There's only a couple of places that matter in this race, and once you've been dropped, it's kind of your job done for the day. So to go out there and take risks and try and get to the finish line quicker and be foolish, because say for us, we got the jersey tomorrow, but had we lost 1 or 2 guys down on that downhill for a crash, then it's a difficult one to explain to the team, and it puts everyone on the back foot for the next day. So for us, we kind of take it easy, but there are still some guys that are taking risks and a bit kamikazes, but generally most of the guys are a bit sensible.
Okay, it's coming back together here, and obviously there's a fair few tricky corners still to come. At this point in a race, what do you think Simon's thinking? What's his thoughts? Is he just running on reactions? Is he running on past experiences? Would you be able to tell us?
I think what's going through Gero's head is he's one out here. Gero realises that he has to win the sprint, so he's sort of doing the minimum work he can, but without not letting the race go away. So you see Richie attacking or Rowan attacking, sort of trying to play off other riders, so hopefully they close it down and put them in the position. He's gone back to sort of 6th, 7th wheel here to sort of think maybe they'll forget that I'm actually here, and the front 3 are just sort of attacking and moving and things like that. So yeah, he's still in the back of his mind. He's always calculating, I've got to have the winning move here at the finish. So, but then if you can see here, Rowan's obviously going for it, because Rowan's realised that he's probably not as fast as Gero. Jay's reacted because he's in the jersey, and then Gero's used Jay to close the gap for him. So you can see here, Gero's jumped on the back of Jay and just used Jay to sort of drag him across the roll, and that might have cost Jay at the finish. You know, like Jay's quite quick, maybe as quick as Gero, but he's had to make that one extra effort that Gero hasn't had to make. So that's probably something that's probably going through his mind.
Do you think that's experience?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think, you know, this is Jay's riding super strong, but he probably hasn't found himself in this situation too many times. Gero's been in this situation, won the bike race 3 times, so I think it's just over experience. You have to, the old dog, you know, using the wise tricks.
As you say, is the old dog of the team, or one of them.
Yeah.
What life lessons has he taught you to take into cycling, if anything, or is he not that wise?
He's not that wise. But no, he's very switched on. He's a guy who's professional, and I think a lot of the younger guys, and especially me, I've learned quite a bit from him about saving energy, doing things right. Brought a lot of professionalism to the team, and we've all seen his work ethic, and I think that's kind of rubbed off on a lot of guys. So, and he's one of the most successful. Well, he is the most successful guy in our team who's won a lot of races and a lot of big races. So, you know, a lot of us look up to him, and I think, you know, experience counts a lot, and he's always there when he says he's going for it, he goes for it. So, which is nice to have a leader like that.
So here we are, going into the finish here. Yeah, do you want to just?
You go now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite far from the line, and obviously a downhill sprint, sometimes the guys come from behind, so you can see Gero's positioned himself about 5th wheel, and Rowan's pretty fast as well, so yeah, I think he timed it really well, but it was a really close victory there, but I think a lot of the guys had turned themselves inside out by that point, so no one had too much punch, and especially with it being a bit of a downhill tailwind sprint, you know, you can go a little bit earlier, so I think Rowan kind of surprised him a little bit too, and but luckily Gero's quick to react, and you know, he just pulled it off, so we were really happy with that.
Cool. I'm guessing with a move like that, with just millimetres in it, do you know you've won, or is there doubt there at times? I presume you two have been in positions like that before.
Yeah, you go.
Okay. Yeah, I think you know, it's never over till it's over. I've seen guys lose big races. Zarwell, the one time lost. We lost.
He lost
Milan San Ramos to Oscar Freire by throwing his hands up, and the guy Freire threw his bike for the line. So it's never over till it's over. And I think Gero with the throw there, he probably got a few extra centimeters as well. So yeah, you've got to sprint to the line and sometimes sprint past it. So it's very important to never throw your hands up before the line.
Okay, last question, guys. Can you remember your first bike and your first bike race?
My first bike wasn't a bike race, it was a triathlon. I had like a giant pedigree with like the gear shifters down here. Yeah, I got out of the swim triathlon and couldn't get my shirt down, and then got on the bike and dropped my chain, had to put it back on, massive Hubbard mark up the side of the leg, and I crushed it. I crushed the bike, like 4th or something like that. But yeah, it was my first bike race, and then pretty much since then I upgraded the next race actually to a better bike because the bike was so shit. But yeah, that was my first experience on my mum's giant pedigree.
How old were you?
14. Yeah.
I was pretty lucky. My father had a bike shop, so he still has a bike shop. But I actually started off mountain biking, so I had. I mean, this is not talking about BMXs and things that you get first, but first real bike I had was probably a Kona Monimola, like the dual suspension. So yeah, I started off mountain biking, did that for about 6 years, and then I switched to the road. So it was a fantastic bike, but it was heavy, but I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Okay, guys, thanks ever so much for your time. Anyone got any questions? No? Right, there we go then. Let you get home.
Thank you.